Welcome back. This is going to be the ultimate beginner guide for anybody just starting out, but also players who have been playing for a while. I got a lot of little tips, tricks, some really important things for you. So lock in as we go ahead and give you exactly what you came for. All right, here we go. We're going to start off this breakdown by just letting you guys know the character you pick doesn't matter. What I mean by that is you can switch at any time if you're playing solo, and that's important. So just test out each character, figure out which one you really like, and you're going to be able to max them all out anyways, because that's a big part of getting the maximum. Let's just say you like Harley Quinn. Well, guess what? You have to max the rest of the characters to get the maximum Harley Quinn that you can. And we'll get into that in a second. But the point there is in the beginning of the game, don't spend so much time on that on who you want. Just try people out and see which one you feel that you would love to main and then go from there. And then you could start using them. Okay. Now, what I was talking about is after you reach level 30, there's a squad tree that we'll get into as well. But first of all, just play through the story. Okay. And that'll be my number one tip to start off is play through the story. And the reason for this is because you play through the story, you're going to be able to get to level 30. I pretty much got to level 30 before I finished the story. And then I opened up what I'm going to be talking about and showing you guys,
Ready to
which
rewire your
is the
brain.
ultimate skill tree called squad skills. Okay. This is it right here. Just take a quick look. It is called squad skills. And basically, in squad skills, you're able to do a lot of things, but it's for your whole team. Okay. So you want to be in this menu and you want to unlock a lot of things here. So getting one character to level 30 is going to be critical. Okay. So what I'm doing right now is showing you the secret sauce in this one. Okay. In here, I got to level 30 already and I just started to maximize one specific thing because this goes for all of the characters. These buffs in this skill tree are for all the characters. So what I'm doing is upgrading the XP points earned. I'm going to get a bonus right now. I got it at 1.5 as you can see, and I'm going to maximize that. That way all my characters when I start playing them, they will level up very fast because I have this maxed out. So I'm basically going to stay on my main character all the way through until I reach level 20 on this specific boost of XP right here. That's very critical. And speaking of XP, I wanted to talk about something that a lot of people probably ignored and don't know that exists in the game. But you can see right here on this mod, this is an early game mod, I had 10% XP gain. So basically, I was always gaining extra XP. You can gain a lot of XP, and I'm talking about a lot. So you want to try and put on every single piece you can to maximize your potential early on because all the weapons are pretty standard and not going to really do too much compared to late game where these pieces of gear are very vital. All right. So that's just something to think about and to figure out for yourself. And there's a lot of tips that we'll get into going about loot and all these things. But I wanted to take a moment, talk about contracts. And this is a support squad thing. If you go to your main menu when you start the game and throughout the game, if you hit the support squad on the PlayStation as triangle, you're going to see all of these missions and they're from different characters. And you want to be able to pick, for example, Hack. She's the one that gives you these contracts I'm about to talk about. So you want to do all of hers. I still have one more with her, and then I finished her off you could see, but what it is these contracts give you resources, whether it's XP to level up or the resources you need to upgrade and change your weapons and to do a bunch of cool stuff. So make sure you're equipping I mean all of these and coming in after every mission and making sure see if you finished it and then you can equip new ones as you go. And a little bonus on this is if you do everything that she wants throughout the time and you do a lot of this, you'll get even better stuff. So just keep on going every day. Get the 4 done for your daily bonus. It should be done in one mission, but it's an important thing. And now, speaking of the support squads, I would like to talk about endgame. We're going to go back and forth on this, but the endgame, do not do all the missions because at the end game, you're going to want the resources. And now I'm going to talk about 2 different things. We're going to talk about end game, but I want to throw difficulty in there because the higher difficulty you are, the better the rewards. Okay, so for example, I put it up to sweat and bullets, and I'm gonna get 20 XP instead of 10. And then I'm also gonna get 30 resources, 30 plus resources. All right, so there's just a higher percentage. You want to do that because when you go into the open world and you do a mission like this, it's gonna give you way more resources than what you would have got. Okay, so it's turning up big time. Okay, so that's why I'm saying do not do the side missions too much unless you have to, so that you can save them for the end game and you'll be able to unlock every single thing and do what's best for you in the end. All right, it's just an important factor. Now I want to talk about something that I absolutely love about this game. Every single mission will have a psyched up character. And what the psyched up character is the ability to have boosts for damage, boost recharging your abilities faster, and then you gain even more XP. The XP part is the most important part. Throughout the story, as I said, play one character. Sure, your main character, that's the character you want to use. But what I'm also adding is during a mission that has a suggested character, switch over to them. All right, you're gonna have 4 characters. You want to switch over to them if they're psyched up on that mission because you're going to level them up anyways. At the end of the day, this is a looter shooter. You want to maximize your build. This is going to be very critical. So take the time and actually do the psyched up characters throughout the missions. I know you want to level up that one character, but I promise you it's going to benefit you in the end. All right, very critical. Now, speaking of benefits, we go to the talent, and it doesn't matter which character you pick. These are super critical, but you can swap out anything you want. This isn't stuck on this. I can literally go in here and just change this to any skill I want throughout the whole skill tree. So you want to be able to do that depending on what you like or just experimenting to see what's good. Of course, I have build videos and breakdowns for all of this stuff for you guys, but super critical to not feel like you're chokehold on there. All right. Now, speaking of that, I want to talk about a couple of things. There's some very important elements in this game where you're able to work on your weapons and do some special things like upgrade them. So let's just say this is the weapon you got when you started the game and you love it and you want to keep playing throughout the whole game. Well, guess what? You can upgrade right here with overhaul. All right, that is a side quest that you can do. You're going to pick that up. And then after you have overhaul, you can go right in here and hit upgrade. I'm not going to do it right now, guys, but basically I'm leveling this bad boy up and changing the attributes, all that good stuff. It's going to be a lot better than what it was. Okay. So that's just one example of why what I'm about to say next, which is saving your resources. All right. If you look at my character, you look at all the resources I have, I pretty much hardly used anything. And I made it to the end game. And I wanted to just showcase it to you guys. Be like, oh wow, look at the top right up there. I have a lot of resources. I'm prepped to go because I'm gonna need that to be able to modify my gear and to do a lot of stuff. And we'll get into some of that in just a second, but I wanted to make it very clear that it's super important that you do that, right? There's plenty of things that you can do in the game. And then now we're going to talk about combat for a second. I want to try to explain habits and important things that are going to help you in the end of the day. Okay. First and foremost, use combos as much as possible. What does that mean? That means you don't want to get hit. That means you want to definitely put out consistent damage. You're going to see the combo meter slowly rise, and you want to try to learn how to keep that high, because that's going to be unlocking all of your skills in the skill tree. You're going to have skills that only unlock when you are higher level and you have the combos going forward. Now, second to that is that there is a combat flare challenge all the time on these missions. And they're basically simple things: slide and shoot, right? Kill a Ludonaut and things like that. You want to do them because you're going to get really good stuff from the challenges. They're going to be very useful. And that's how you get your combo easier with that one quick tip, right? So, speaking of combos, you want to be able to, as you traverse, to actually slide. Okay. Use the slide button all the time. You don't want to just land flat. You can slide in this game very far. You can reload and slide. You can shoot and slide. I mean, the game allows you to do tons of great movement, and you'll thank me later once you master it and say, "Oh, that changed everything for me." It's going to be very critical instead of just standing still and not utilizing that specific thing. Okay. So that's just some. And now I'm going to showcase a quick look at my actual world in the game. And I want to talk about things like this right here. There's these guys here, ships throughout the level that are actually holding hostages, civilians that you want to save. So if you see it floating around, for example, this guy right here, I'm not going to do it, but if I shoot that and I got to shoot it fast, I'm going to rescue them. That's going to give me XP. It's going to give me rewards in my Hall of Justice as well. So I want to do that as quickly as possible. And just to show you guys what I mean, I just hit him and he's dead. And now I got that reward and we're good to go. Okay. You want to do that type of thing consistently because it is important to get XP. And now as I go to another mission, I'm looking around, fighting off any torrents, fighting off any enemies as I go, because I'm getting XP and I'm getting loot. On top of that, if I'm lucky enough, I could get the Luminats, and there's just small little, let's just say they look kind of like octopuses, and you're gonna know what they are because the game explains it. They have the best loot, especially when you're in higher tier. You're gonna be able to do some crazy things that you absolutely love. That is super necessary. Now, to talk about a couple of quick things, the game explains it in detail how to shield harvest, and they explain uh, that you're going to need it, right? To survive, you can go over the limit and keep yourself alive even more. So you want to utilize that as best as possible, and don't, you know, stop doing it. If you can do it, don't think that you're invincible. Basically, talking about invincibility, I will explain this once again. And we talked about the difficulty. The thing with the difficulty is, in the end game, it is so amazing because you're getting the best loot in the game. All right, you're gonna get. I'm talking about top tier stuff right in the open world if you maximize the difficulty on the actual run when you play. So make sure you do that. Okay. And now, speaking of top tier, one big thing that I did, and I have videos for a lot of this stuff, so you want to check on the channel, is when it comes to your loot, saving your items isn't really necessary. There's a lot of great loot. You get about 300 or so. I haven't kept count, but I have a lot. A lot of this loot here, you can go ahead and dismantle them. All right. All I got to do is go to manage gear, depending on which item you are. And then I can put mark or breakdown. And that's going to give me a lot of resources. And the higher gear it is, the better gear, the more resources you'll get, better resources you'll get as well. Super important. Okay. Now we're going to talk about some things I made a video for: social squads. Okay, in here I can go to the #1 leaderboards and see who's number one, number two, number three, And as you can see, it's an ever-changing thing, but the point is I can see their actual setup. And this is going to teach me what should I do, what I really like. Oh man, they got Bane set right now. They love Bane. They got 4 pieces of Bane. I could probably do something like that. I might have those pieces or I want those pieces. Okay. So these are the type of things you want to focus on and look at. Okay. And be able to use to your advantage. Now, on top of this, I can go into their profile and then make them a bot for my character. Instead of having an AI, I can put one of their characters and they're overpowered. So you're going to see, you're going to get the best possibility when you do that proper. Right. So make sure you take your time and you do that and add them to your team if you're playing solo, or just check them out and see what you can do there. Another tip, I do have another video about this as well, which is the clans. You can get clan rewards. As you can see right here, my clan is moving up shortly, and we haven't even maxed out the capacity on them. But you can go in here, get yourself a bunch of rewards just by playing the game naturally, doing challenges. I did all these challenges while just playing the story. Okay. So very easy. There's a cool leaderboard in here where you can play against other players. I'm second place somehow. I love it. And yeah, so those are the type of things that you want to pay attention to when it comes to that. Last but not least, and we got a couple more just random things to talk about, is settings. I did a full breakdown. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but there's a lot of details in here. And I would say, you know, your base sensitivity, having it between 75 to 100, whatever you're comfortable with, because then you can look around faster, especially in this game, is going to be needed. And then when you go to gameplay, there's a bunch of stuff in here that you can look at and figure out and see what you like. Personally, the interface to me, turning off as much as you can so that you can make it easy for yourself to be able to see everything and do everything proper. All right. Go check that out and it's going to help you big time. There's plenty, I mean, plenty of things to get into when it comes to this game. I absolutely love it. Um, I'll say this: there's no fast travel, right? So it's like, oh man, I don't know what to do. Well, you can actually hit D-pad up when you unlock the Hall of Justice for your story. You're gonna be able to click up, and it's gonna say, "Do you want to fast travel?" And you're good to go. And that's gonna be a critical thing, in my opinion, and super necessary, right? That's key. All right, so now we're gonna get into a little bit of end game, and we want to talk about things. So spoilers ahead a little bit. I mean, it is called Kill the Justice League, isn't it? So in the end game, you're going to get these specific missions that cost Promethium. All right, these are Elseworld missions, and they are um very difficult if you have it on high levels, and they're right here. Okay, so I need to get in there, but it costs me 1,000 Promethium. I have to earn that, like I said, doing the side missions. And the higher difficulty I do these, the more Promethium I can get. So I want it at the highest level. Then I want to get in here and fight off the main boss in the game and basically get the best gear as well. As you can see, it says Bane Infamy sets. This is the place to be when you want these Bane Infamy sets, okay? And this is going to help you, and I will have my video about Endgame. This is more a beginner friendly, but also just kind of teaching you the ropes. Once you finish the story, you'll get to this point where you start unlocking the Bane Infamy sets. You know, you want to get Notorious sets, all of that good stuff, and you can get it via doing these missions. Now, like I said, higher difficulty gonna prep you because you're gonna have more resources, more Promethium as you do all these side quests, and then you come here and you're good to go. Okay, that is the key. If you need help, hey, go to the Discord, hit up my community, whatever you need to do to get some teammates. If you feel like you can't do it alone, that's perfectly fine. All right. The last tip and the best tip is to make yourself look good, right? That's pretty much it. Just put on something fly, you know. And right now I got this Harley Quinn dark. I wanted to switch up my look. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. There's plenty more that I would need to break down in the near future, but I hope that this was as helpful for you guys. We want to continue to give you guys nothing but the best when it comes to the overall experience with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I gotta say, I absolutely love it. I'm gonna have tons of more videos, guides. I have some builds already in the works for you guys to check out. And yes, go check out the next video. It should be popping up right now. We appreciate you out here. Peace. One love.